Welcome to the Path to Better A1C podcast. My name is Jenny Pena, and I am a National Board Certified Health and Wellness Coach and a Diabetes Prevention Program Lifestyle Coach. As the owner of Gen P Coaching, I specialized in helping men and women lower their A1C, balance their blood sugar, lose weight, and prevent diabetes through my signature health coaching program, the A1C Reset Protocol. Whether you're looking for simple tips or expert advice, or maybe a bit motivation to take control of your health, you are in the right place. So let's get started on the path to better A1C and a healthier, happier you. This is episode 1 of my podcast. So welcome. Today, we are going to talk about what is prediabetes and why it matters. We are diving into this topic that affects millions of people worldwide, but often goes unnoticed. And I'll explain what it is, why it matters. I'm going to go through some statistics and also discuss how it can be prevented and even reversed, which is good news. So let's jump right in. Now, what is prediabetes? Because a lot of my clients at the beginning, sometimes they want to downplay that, well, it's not diabetes yet. But diabetes is a condition where your blood sugar levels are higher than normal. They may not be yet at that high enough level to be classified as type 2 diabetes, but it is a warning sign. I like to say it is a yellow flag that your body is telling you that there is something that is not working properly when it comes to insulin and when it comes to managing sugar levels. And that your body is just not processing sugar as well as it should. Now, why does this matter? It matters first because it's reversible, and second, because if it is ignored, if it's left unchecked, it can actually progress into type 2 diabetes. And not only are you going to have to explore medication and your diet is going to be highly impacted, they're increasing the fact that you have type 2 diabetes, it automatically increases your risk of serious complications in other systems such as heart disease, kidney damage, nerve problems, vision problems. There's so many things that actually are tied that can be actually impacted. Now, the statistics, let's put this into perspective. In the United States, more than 96 million adults have prediabetes. That is 1 in 3 people. This is alarming. And what makes it even more alarming is that 80% of them don't even know they have it. Just think about that. And this is sourced by the CDC, and I will put the reference in the show notes. But this data is as recent as 2023. At the time that I'm recording this, it's January 1st, 2025. So it's not 2 years that this information was released. So just think about that. 1 in 3 people, and then 80% of those don't even know they have prediabetes. Now, let's talk globally. I am based in New York. These are numbers for the United States. However, International Diabetes Federation, according again the same year, 2023, the numbers globally are just as concerning, with an estimated 374 million people living with prediabetes. This should raise a concern. Now, if you're wondering how can I actually identify prediabetes? Well, the first step is to get tested. And there are 3 different tests, all of them through your blood, that you can do. The one that is the most common here in the United States to monitor is called the A1C test. This measures your average blood sugar levels over the past 2 to 3 months. And typically, if your A1C is between 5.7% and 6.4%, it indicates that it's prediabetes. If it's higher than that, it start getting into that type 2 diabetes. Now, there is the fasting plasma glucose test. This will give you a specific snapshot as to how your glucose levels are at that point in time. Now, this is a test that's typically done after an overnight fast. Ideally, your glucose levels should not be over 100. If they come up between 100 and 125, this may suggest that you have prediabetes. Now, there is a third test, and for the ladies out there that have been pregnant, probably know that there is this test that you need to do just to verify that you don't have gestational diabetes, and that is what is called the oral glucose tolerance test. This measures your blood sugar before you take a liquid that it has a lot of glucose, and then 2 hours after drinking, just to see how your body reacts with the exposure of that amount of sugar. And typically a reading between 140, 199 indicate prediabetes. Now, please, I am not a doctor. Ask your healthcare provider about these tests. Make sure that if you have any of the risk factors, such as being overweight, having a family history of diabetes, being over the age of 45, and there's also some ethnic groups that actually take you into that higher risk level. Discuss that with your doctor. This is a very simple test that you can do every year that you can monitor. And if it is a bit elevated, you can monitor even more often. So be on alert and look at the tests that are included and make sure you do that so that you will not be that 1 in 3 that have prediabetes and is walking around and not even being aware. Now, what are some of the symptoms? And this is another challenge. Prediabetes, since it's just sort of a yellow flag, is that slow progression of not being as efficient using insulin and managing blood sugars. The symptoms may be very subtle, but I will tell you a few. Increased thirst. Typically, even when I'm coaching clients for different reasons, if I hear that they're constantly drinking water and the thirst does not go away, I typically recommend for them to talk to their doctor and just rule this out. Frequent urination, feeling fatigue, lack of energy, feeling lethargic, blurry vision, and also darkened skin patches, typically in the neck, the armpits, the groin. These are things that also may indicate that there is something with your blood sugar that is a bit off. So if you notice the symptoms, again, don't dismiss them. Talk to your doctor. Now, the good news is prediabetes can actually be prevented and reversed, and that this can be done with lifestyle changes. Those can make a huge difference. Now, here are some key strategies, and some of these are actually embedded in the A1C reset protocol that I created as a health coaching program to help my clients balance their A1C levels and their blood sugar. One is balanced nutrition. Nutrition is key. Focusing on eating a balanced plate with whole unprocessed foods, manage your portion sizes, incorporate a lot of fiber-rich vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, while reducing the refined carbs and the added sugar. Now, the other element that is extremely important is regular physical exercise. So physical activity, aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week. And some of the moderate exercise levels should be brisk walking, cycling, swimming, because exercise helps your body use insulin more effectively. Now, a lot of my clients may come back to me and I had to explain to them that movement and exercise are not the same. And I'm going to quickly squeeze that in here. If you walk, there are amazing benefits about having 10,000 steps, 15,000 steps. However, if you have not reached that moderate level where your heart rate is a bit elevated, where you're breaking a bit of a sweat, it's not true exercise, it's movement. But probably I will talk about that on a different podcast. Now, the next element would be weight management. And the CDC has a science-based program called the Prevent-T2, which I offer about twice a year, that one of the core goals is to actually have you lose 5 to 7% of your current body weight. So there is even a table that we present to the joiners of the coaching program, and we tell them, okay, it's the first day of the program, pick what is your current weight and put as a goal that for about 6 months, I'm going to lose 5 to 7% of my body weight. And that significantly lowers your risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Now, another elements that some people are a bit surprised. One is stress. Chronic stress can actually spike blood sugar levels. So, if you have a spiritual practice that brings you balance and calm, mindfulness, yoga, relaxation techniques, breathing, all these things are key for you to keep those blood sugar levels. And not only that, but also helps balance your emotions and your mental health. Now, quality of sleep. We are in a society which sleep is almost like underrated, and a lot of people struggle with getting at least 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep. And some people actually get a good amount, and the quality may not be great. So, two factors are important so that you can actually help your body not develop that insulin resistance, because there is studies that will show that poor sleep is actually linked to insulin resistance. So strive for 7 to 9 hours of restorative sleep each night. Now, detection, it's key. We already talked about the labs and the things that you need to maybe talk to your doctor about, but make sure you either test your A1C levels or at least check your glucose tolerance test, or when you're go after an overnight fast and just see if your fasting levels are at normal range. Now, why does this matter? And again, a lot of my clients may say, well, I don't have type 2 diabetes yet. The doctor didn't say that I need medication. However, first, it's a ticking time bomb that you're pushing aside. And if you don't do anything, you may end up developing type 2 diabetes. But also, it's not just about diabetes. It is about improving your overall quality of life. You're going to have more energy. You're going to have better sleep. You're going to reduce complications of developing illnesses in other areas of your body, like your heart, your kidneys, your vision, nerves. So by taking these small, consistent steps, you're not just addressing pre-diabetes, but you're investing in your long-term health and well-being. So just don't dismiss it. If there's like one thing that I want you to leave with is don't dismiss it. Talk to your doctor, include this test, monitor. Let's aim for not being those 1 in 3, that 80% that has prediabetes and has no clue. Now, this is it for today's episode of The Path to Better A1C. If this episode resonated with you, or if you're ready to take the next step into your health journey, I would love to help. So visit my website. It's at www.jennypena.com. That's www.jennypena.com to learn more about my services. You can schedule a free 30-minute discovery call with me. And when you sign up for my newsletter, you will actually get a free resource. And currently, I have a blood sugar balancing snack list that has a lot of different combinations for those that have a salty craving or a sweet craving. And these snacks are perfect to curb your appetite and not cause a spike on your blood sugar. So head out there, sign up. Every month, I will share some sort of a free resource, always sharing tips, recipes. There is so much value on that newsletter, and it's absolutely free. Now, let's start transforming your health one habit at a time. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you at the next episode.